All my facts come from a 5-year-old copy of Nuts magazine. They do a pub ammo page on the back, and I've literally stripped that entire page. All those facts are all off that one page. I'm not a great story or joke teller. I'll be the first to admit that. A lot of my jokes tend to be from really odd places, like Max Power magazine, back about 12 years ago. Random stuff that I'm like, oh, da-da, gotta talk. Oh, cool, I remember this joke, here it is. I found it really difficult at first. Before, like, I was a very introspective performer. Didn't really talk between songs, didn't really do much. But I found that if you just speak to people, because literally they're sat right next to you, speak to them. It's very different comparing like a rock show, because you can step on stage and be rock and roll, riling people up. That's easy to do, you know. But it's something like this where it's a bit more quieter, and you just got to be a bit more personal. Just be yourself and talk to people, which is you know the best advice I can give. You know, I like when people walk in and I can do something that gives a little wink and a nod. It could be very simple thing, blowing kisses or. That's the difficult thing. Trying not to alter it too much. Trying not to DJ it, essentially, because it won't work whatever you try and do. Often I try to say, oh right, I'll have this guy on when it's busy, when loads of people are on. I'll have this people here when it's quieter. And this doesn't work because you're like, okay, we're due for our busy period soon. Cool, I'll get this group on, and then the busy period won't happen. And then, oh, okay, well they've played now, I'll have my quiet guys on, and then you get a coach load come in, and you're like, ah. In terms of musical styles as well, I really tend to work that as long as the sets are short enough, people don't mind. I tend to find with like 20-minute sets that people will, even if they're not enjoying that style of music, they will sit and wait for the next guy. The trick is actually to keep it flowing and in that it's not the same style in any sort of one long stretch, too long. The mix is the important thing. I know who I can call on to settle a crowd. I know I can perform a call on to really unnerve a crowd. I know who I can call on to clear the place out. I know I can call on to make everyone sing and dance. It's just getting to know who plays what and who can handle being like chucked in a bit like sometimes. But most of the time, it literally just, it does itself. I tend to do it on a first come, first served basis. In order they turn up, that's the order they play. I tend to just let it flow. I know people, you know, come and don't know what to expect a lot of the time, you know, and part of the joy is that keeping people on their toes. My musical influences, my massive one is Hendrix. You'll have seen, there's a couple of stage moves in there that I've stolen, the old ass to the floor all of a sudden, bounce down and up, a couple of the old little tricks here and there. Try and absorb everything. So every little inflection, little joke, and just, it all comes out in a million ways. Johnny Cash is a big influence as well. And I always liked his style of simplicity and how he performed. You know, a lot of the times it's him and a small band, and the whole, hello, I'm Johnny Cash, which always drove to me is, keep it simple, stupid. You know, Queen as well, massive influence. A lot of Freddie comes through. I consider him the master in performance. It's important to remember that people aren't looking to take on a lot of information during a performance. If you do lots and lots and lots of things going on, the less of it will be taken in. So it's important to mix them, not to be a clone of one person. Essentially all informs yourself anyway. I say it's important to just blend it all and push it through and be yourself, rather than being I don't know, a Prince copyist or something, you know. Yeah. Although I would look good in Purple Velvet. Oh, well, Hendrix and Queen. I heard Bohemian Rhapsody, Top of the Pops 2, when I was about 12 years old, and oh man, that blew my mind. Yeah. That absolutely blew my mind. It wasn't long after that I heard Voodoo Child. Someone had got me like a rock compilation CD, like 40 tracks. Voodoo Child was the last one, and it was the only one that made me go, oh. Played that track over and over and over and over again. I was like, I need to play guitar. Initially, I was, never had a thought of, oh, I'm going to write songs. Very difficult. Very difficult. I have very little process because I've written very few complete songs finished. And I'm like, oh, that's all right. We'll put that to one side and we'll see what. And it just sort of sits there. I mean, the best songs that I've written, say like Let It Shine, that got written in half an hour, front to back. Yeah. I was in bed, I woke up, the sun was shining through the windows, and it just came. Lyrics all came down, so I was next to the bed, wrote it, and then it was written, finished within half an hour. I'd like to say I'm really pleased about how this has turned out. I didn't think starting this 5 years ago that I'd be sitting here looking forward to a great evening of having such a wide range of performers, so many interesting people that are coming, and looking forward to having such a great night. When you start these things, you really wonder how far is it going to go, how long for it all dries up and no one comes and whatnot, and it hasn't happened. I can only thank all the performers and people that come and do the thing, because that's what makes it, right?